Welcome to the Healers Café, the #1 show for medical practitioners and holistic healers to have heart-to-heart conversations about their day-to-day lives while sharing their expertise for improving your health and wellness.
So welcome to the Healers Café. And today I'm with Camille Leon, and she founded the Holistic Chamber of Commerce in 2010. And she's a pioneer in creating a coordinated, collaborative presence for the holistic community where really before that there has been none. She leads the way with her ideas, insights, and inspiration through an active presence on social media, especially LinkedIn and Facebook. And a lot of healthcare practitioners are on LinkedIn. So now, amongst other things you do, you're also an artist and an author. But I think what my community would probably really benefit from hearing is, why this Chamber of Commerce and what got you interested and started in that direction.
Oh, well, I am so excited to be on the Healers Cafe today. Thank you so much, Dr. B, for finding me and reaching out. This is my favorite topic. What got me to start this? So originally I worked in downtown LA in one of those corporate buildings in a corner office, and I was so stressed and emotionally broken. And then my mother and my grandmother had some significant health issues. And I started asking my coworkers for referrals to acupuncturists. Ha ha ha. And they were all like, what? They use needles. Is that covered by insurance? Right.
Right.
And of course, I consider acupuncture to be one of those gateway techniques that's maybe not fully mainstream, but close enough, right? And my coworkers,
It's been around for
yeah,
it.
yes, exactly. Tried and true, I think would be the term. So that became the seed for a online directory that would be focused on holistic therapies and the therapists who provide them. For example, Bowen therapists, right? But once we started building that directory, we also found that a lot of holistic professionals and practitioners and business owners are not well supported on the business side. They're great at doing what they do. They're great at healing people, right? Using whatever their preferred modality or technique or specialty is. But business, heck, I did not become a Bowen therapist to be in business. I did not become an acupuncturist to be in business. I did not become a Reiki master to be in business. So the Chamber of Commerce does kind of two things. One is connect more mainstream consumers to holistic techniques, possibilities, and the people who provide those services. And it also provides support for the business side of healing others. Marketing is a business thing. Visibility is a business thing. Time management, how do you juggle your time and money? It's all support for you, right? And it helps you be better at reaching the people who need your healing.
Yeah, it's often, looked upon. I mean, it's changing. I mean, thank God it is actually changing. But
Yes.
a lot of therapists have this idea that they'll be found, and people will find them if they need them, and that somehow associating oneself with the marketing or the business component is not in the right spirit?
I actually think that and it is changing. I think it's a question of the role models that we have had in the past for being in business and the role models we have now for being in business. So for anybody who is confused about whether it's good or bad to recognize that you're in business, you're not going to like all of these names, but let me point out that Dr. Deepak Chopra, he's in business and very successful and very holistically aligned. I think a lot of people would say Oprah Winfrey. She gets that she's in business. She is holistically aligned. Dr. Andrew Weil. I mean, think of some very visible, holistically aligned doctors, therapists. They know they're in business.
You know, it's also, it's not necessarily the so-called experts who are often paid and not actually experts. We know many of those during the last few years who have spoken out, and they don't actually, they know that they're motivated by the money, but not necessarily by the welfare of people. So there is a fine line, but I think visibility in the sense of being useful to your community is what's important. Is stepping out, like believing that if you actually talk about what you do a little bit, that it'll help a person who has no idea what you do, right? You know,
We believe in balance, right? And there is a balance that makes what we do sustainable and even profitable. And it is okay. Now, does that mean we need to be greedy? No, we don't need to be greedy. But people are already going to doctors. They're already going to drugstores. So they're looking for healing and health and wellness. So let's help them find more holistic approaches. You know, no matter where you are, there's a lot of visibility for conventional Western medicine. And that makes it easy for people to, oh, I'll just go pick up really whatever, which we all know is not always the best solution, right? So visibility is what helps people find you sooner. So they don't have to wait until it's a last-ditch, desperate effort. In some cases, too late. We want them to find you sooner, now even.
And I think too, there's a reality of, if, you know, often people say follow the money, right? So if you see that pharmaceuticals pay a large part for the ads and for all of this, they're going to be extremely well represented. So competing in those sort of networks is nearly impossible. Plus, that feels kind of maybe not quite right, you know? Whereas in a community-based thing, it's more that you're sharing and you're open to discussion, right? Because you know, people don't know the difference many times. They don't know that when you take a bunch of pills, they may work a little bit or some of the time, but you may not be actually fixing the underlying problem or the cause, right? It's not discussed because you assume, oh, these are magical. And then you look at the commercials, you jump in the air and you're happy. And, you know, the sun starts to come out. And then you read all the side effects, but you don't read those fast enough because there's so many of them. They have to.
People don't pay attention to the side effects.
No.
They just don't. They're looking at the pretty pictures, they're looking at the ads. Very often people don't find the side effects until after they have started taking something. And yet we're all aware that opioid addiction is a crisis. And one reason for those addiction problems is that people, they can't find the holistic therapies, which they will love once they find them, and they won't get addicted, right?
No.
Or they'll get it. Imagine, I'm addicted to essential oils. Wow. You know, and the side effects are all good side effects. It's not a lot of negative side effects. Oh, or here, take this, and you're also going to need a second this
The
in order
filter.
to combat, and then also you're going to need a booster, because eventually the original, and have you noticed with the antidepressants, they don't say, oh, your original one isn't working anymore, you should get off of that and take this instead. They say, oh, your original one isn't working anymore, we're going to give you a second pill that kind of boosts it. But it's easier for people to find those things. So
Yep.
that is part of the reason for the name Chamber of Commerce, is a lot of mainstream consumers have a certain level of respect for the reputation and trust for Chamber of Commerce members. And you tack on that holistic, and you have a community that's really focused on the holistically aligned business community, from solopreneurs, professionals, practitioners, to those who run larger businesses.
And how is that run? Like, what happens if you, let's say you decide to join? What are the benefits? What's the engagement? How does it work?
Oh, well, so there are, I think really it boils down to 3 primary benefits, and there's more to it than that, but there are 3 primary. One is a directory listing. So all of our members are listed in the directory. All of our members can be found. They can be searched by location. So an in-person therapy, you need to find somebody close to you, really. Or they can be found by keywords, Bowen or Bowen therapy, as an example. Or they can be found by company name, though people who don't know you yet, they're searching for more general keywords. Maybe they don't even know Bowen therapy yet, right? So they're searching for something.
Pain relief or something. Mhm.
Right, pain relief, yeah, or chronic pain. So the directory, that's first.
What would your life be like if you were pain-free? If you were one of the millions who suffer from chronic pain, the thought of just one day without it may seem impossible. This is often because conventional medicine tends to fall short in the treatment of pain, opting to prescribe pills or recommend surgery rather than getting to the root cause of the problem. But if you are suffering with emotional or physical pain, there is hope. Join the founder and CEO of Bowen College, Manon Bolliger, live online for your body-mind reboot. Learn how to listen to your symptoms and get to the root cause of your pain. Plus, be trained in basic Bowen therapy moves so that you can reboot your body for optimal health. You don't have to live in pain. You can heal. Stop the pain pill cycle by visiting www.yourbodymindreboot.com to learn more and to register.
Second, all of our members can add their events, if they do intro events, either online or in person, to our events listing, so that anybody who comes to our website and finds that main calendar can find what our members are doing, both online and those in-person intro events. And then the other thing we do is we do networking. Our networking happens online. Your friend of mine, Zoom, or maybe I should say your frenemy, Zoom, but it allows people to attend our networking meetings all over, right? Whatever time zone you're in, you don't have to drive, you don't have to fly, you don't have to deal with parking. So that's included for all of our members. And then we also have some locally active groups where local members, come together once a month and actually have that in-person component as well.
Good. Yeah. So, and when there's these get-togethers, is there an opportunity to speak or to present a little bit, or how does it work as far as getting the word out? Or
So actually, a lot of the way we get the word out is online. It is via email. It is on social media. It is on podcasts like this. My job as the founder really is to always be representing holistic therapists and all of our members, that holistically aligned professional community. We currently have over 50,000 followers. So there are a lot of people paying attention to us on our website, our blog, our socials, via email, and we're networking on your behalf always in that way. And then at our meetings, depend on the meeting. Some of our meetings are strictly for networking, so everybody there does get to introduce themselves and talk about what they do a little bit. And then some of our meetings are a little less networking and a little more about a specific topic. For example, last night we had a great little meeting about how to do better with your Google search engine optimization, how to find more people through Google, because here's what we know, whether you like Google or not, that's where people are going to find what they're looking for. Right. So how do we make it a little bit easier for you to boost your presence on Google or whatever your favorite search engine is? But yeah, so there are plenty of opportunities to introduce yourself in the networking meetings. And we also have a group on Facebook that is pretty active.
Okay. And are you mostly in the US, or you're international, or are there Canadians?
So we are mostly in the US, and we have an international presence. I believe we have some Canadian members. We should, I know we used to. We also have some members in Europe, some members in Central America. Actually, I was just in Belize the other in December, visiting one of our early legacy members down there. And that's the nice thing about being online, right? Is it's easy to do a search for wherever you are. And that's part of what I really like about our directory, right? Is people can plug in their city, their province, and hopefully find what they're looking for, especially for those in-person techniques where you need to go in person.
Yeah. And you know, the good thing with complementary, or I don't even know if it's really a compliment. I think it's in its own right. It's a natural therapy. I think that's a better way of describing it. But a lot of them can be done through Zoom and through discussion and, you know, that type of thing as well. You know, it depends. There's licensing requirements that vary so much. So it's hard to say, but that's a whole other.
Yes, that's another topic. That's another podcast, but yeah.
Yeah, but it's true. It's a good way to at least start and, you know, get the word out. So what prompted you to start this, or what motivated you, or what was the need you saw that?
Well, the need I saw was at the time I was looking for an acupuncturist, and the world has changed, I will admit. Search engines have become a little easier to use, even for finding holistic therapies, but I still find that they are not particularly user-friendly for finding the holistic options, the holistic possibilities. So we needed that
I mean, I
directory
know, like,
focused on us and you.
yeah, and I think exactly. And I think it's different. Like, you probably know Mercola, he's been around for 40 plus years, a wealth of information. Well, it depends what happens out there, but he's, unless you put his actual URL, you couldn't find any of his information anymore in the last few years.
Well,
Right.
I also think like not everybody can go to where Marcola is. And I think
Oh,
that
that's
all of the links on his website
Mhm.
come back to, I have the answer for you. I have the answer for you. So how do we get people to find the therapists that are close to them? I can't go to Chicago.
No, for sure. But I mean, as far as like discussing options that you could
Yes.
to your local people, in the last few years, you can't look up anything. It's just
That's sad.
the search engines don't allow you to see these alternatives, so it's
Well, we can be found on Google. Start
exactly.
typing in Holistic Chamber of Commerce and we will come up.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's why grassroots things, that community, the really strong, and I think people are realizing that, that we need to start with something like that, and then it's easy to refer, so I think it's
Yeah,
a great idea.
thank
Yeah,
you.
so besides healthcare practitioners, who else who else comes to this?
Well,
The
so our website is used by so many different people. Like I said, we have, in terms of our direct followers, 50,000. And in the world today, we know that there is a ripple effect, right? Every single connection is tied to what? 10, 20, 30, 50. I mean, in my case, if you looked me up on LinkedIn, you'd see that I have over 21,000 connections now.
Mhm,
So there's that ripple effect that
mhm,
means 500,000, a million people can come to our website and they're looking for you. They're looking for holistic therapies. Even if they don't know the term Bowen therapy,
mhm,
they're looking for it.
mhm,
Even if they don't know the term Reiki, that's what they're looking for, right? And we're creating that bridge, really, that introduction to there's another path. You don't have to go to the corner drugstore and buy another pill.
mhm,
There's another path.
mhm, mhm. Great. I can't believe our time is almost over. I was gonna say, what would you like to share with the last 5 minutes? I know you have a book. I believe that
I
art
do.
behind is yours, or
Well, so I'm going to put it in the chat and I can email you after the fact as well. We have it's on our website. It's a free gift book. It's basically an intro to holistic health and wellness. So we feature probably the most common, most well-known techniques: chiropractic, acupuncture. I think we talk about hypnotherapy and essential oils, right? And then towards the end of the book, we start talking about there are so many other holistic therapies for you to discover, for you to explore and find, right? Um, so it's that's what it is. This book, which is a free gift available on our website, is that here's an open door for you.
right.
Come on in.
Mhm. Okay, and people have to start somewhere,
They
so
do, and they don't know where to start. So here you go.
yeah, I mean, often like we get clients that have seen chiropractors, but not that chiropractors don't benefit people, they do, but like all therapies, not everyone. So
Nothing solves everything for every person.
that's how, well, have you done?
Yeah.
Mhm. Exactly. No, so that's how we often get referrals from chiropractors,
That's
or,
good. Yeah.
a physiotherapist, or, people who typically people will go there first because they're better known,
Right.
If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then this is kind of the chance of, offering more things that are less familiar.
Yeah. And
Mhm.
our goal as the Holistic Chamber of Commerce is to expose people
Mhm.
earlier in their journey so that
Correct.
they find all of these therapies a
Mhm.
little sooner.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, great work. And thank you so much for sharing what you're doing. And yeah, big need for that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you for joining us at the Healers Café. If you haven't already done so, please like, comment, and subscribe with notifications on, as I post a new podcast every Wednesday with tons of useful information and tips for natural healing that you won't want to miss.